thank you everybody for stopping back by another episode of the Raider Critique. And I would like to thank every single subscriber now, as you guys could tell in the intro that I did this time, that yes, I have crossed 100 subscribers in the first 7 weeks of the season. And thanks to all of you, you guys made it possible, and hopefully we can make it 1,000. Now this is the pregame review for Week 9, the Battle of the Bay. The Oakland Raiders versus the San Francisco 49ers at Levi Stadium, and I believe Santa Clara. I believe that's exactly where San Francisco Stadium is. So, what I would like to do is go over this game a little bit, because you know that we have some key IRs for key players who were on IR coming back to play this week. Eddie Vanderdoes and Justin Jellybean Ellis, both defensive tackles. We really do need these guys to step up. I don't know if they're going to get much playing time. I really wanted to report Eddie Vanderdoes last week, but I'm really glad that I held off, because I would have looked like a dumbass trying to report that Eddie Vanderdoes was coming off of IR when literally he waited until this week to come back. This is basically what the shit bowl would look like. The San Francisco 49ers are 1-7. They have not had their bye week yet. They're plagued with injuries. Us Raiders, well, we already know we are 1-6. We are also plagued with injuries, and we have key players coming back. The 49ers are literally hurting. Very bad, just like us. I mean, everybody had high aspirations for both of these teams. As a matter of fact, everybody thought that both of these teams were going to be so good that they decided to put them on Thursday Night Football this week. And lo and behold, if we have not disappointed. I mean, I guess that's just the way it is. And I do want to say that I did not give enough praise last week to anyone, and I do want to take the time to praise the offensive line, because without you guys, Derek Carr would not have had that outstanding game. And finally he got time to throw the football. And even with all the injuries that we have on our offensive line, you guys held up very good against the Indianapolis Colts, and I would like to applaud you for it. And I'm just sorry that I didn't mention it in my last video. But going against these 49ers at home, with them having so many injuries to all of their starters. Look, I know we're 1-6. We honestly should not even think about winning, but if we can't win this game, then we have some major problems. And just let's go ahead and go into it on exactly why. Right here is why. Nick Mullins could start Thursday for the 49ers against the Raiders. Now, Nick Mullins is a third-string quarterback. This guy has probably very rarely had any playing time if he wasn't brought up from the practice squad last week. So let's read about him here a little bit. I know this is a Raider fan channel, but it is kind of funny to read about the other demises of other people's teams, especially when it comes to the 49ers. I know some of y'all don't like them. I don't really mind them. I don't live in the Bay Area, though. You know what I mean? But, some of y'all just might get a kick out of it because we're going against a third-string quarterback. Now, we focused on it a ton in the past. The San Francisco 49ers quarterback, C.J. Beathard, can't continue taking unnecessary hits if he hopes to have a long-term future in the league. So that's how they open the article up. Unfortunately, Beathard's style of play could hurt a one-win 49ers team over the short term. The second-year signal caller suffered a wrist injury in last week's humiliating loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, he didn't practice on Tuesday, and it's said to be a game-time decision for Thursday night's primetime matchup with the lowly Oakland Raiders. They called us the lowly Oakland Raiders. Now, given that the only two quarterbacks on the roster behind Bethard is an inexperienced Nick Mullins, a veteran journeyman Tom Savage, this might seem like some really bad news for Kyle Shanahan's squad. Now, just from reading this, I don't understand why they would start Nick Mullins when they have Tom Savage, but then again, we've already seen what Tom Savage had if you've watched any Houston games when he was there. He wasn't very good. So if Tom Savage is actually backing up this Nick Mullins dude, then Nick Mullins has to be better, right? Or maybe they just haven't seen enough of him yet. But literally, we're going to be going against either a third or fourth string quarterback. Literally. So, as stated before, we are getting a couple guys back from injured reserve in Eddie Vanderdoes and Justin Ellis. Now, we haven't seen Eddie Vanderdoes since last season. He actually, I believe he tore his ACL and he's been out for quite a while. It's going to be really good to see this guy back on the defensive line for this Raiders team. A Raiders team that has not produced any pass rush in the past 9 weeks. I mean, to be honest with you, even on the bye week, I felt like we took a loss because we dealt Amari Cooper out to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, every week besides playing the Cleveland Browns has been excruciatingly terrible. So I'm hoping that this week's going to be a little bit better for us, especially now that we're going to be getting a couple key players on defense to create pass rush against this football team. So why don't we go ahead and hop on over here. Oh, look at me fucking up. Here we are. My bad about that. So like I was saying before, this is your pregame review. And I don't really have much to report on this Raiders team besides that we've got a couple of these guys coming back. Derek Carr was exceptional last week, and we need more exceptional play from him. We need the defense to finally step up, and hopefully with a couple of these guys coming back on the defensive line, maybe we can create some pass rush and maybe create some turnovers. But we cannot see the same defense from last week that was giving up hella yards, hella passes, and hella rushing yards. We cannot see that. Defense has got to step up. And I'm actually hoping that the defense does step up, because if the defense steps up, we win this game 21-3. Now, if not, this team actually might be able to stay with us, but I'm thinking, come on. A third string and a fourth string quarterback, we should easily win this game. Even though we probably should try to lose this game for the simple fact that we should be buying for the number 1 overall draft pick in the draft next year. But, hey, I'll take a win wherever we can get it. And by God, we should win this game, especially roster-wise. We do still have our starting quarterback and our second string running back. He might not be the best, but he's a lot better than what I guess there could be out there in the league. I don't know. I'm not a huge Doug Martin fan, but with DeAndre Washington back, if Doug Martin starts blowing it, you just put DeAndre in and rotate him out with Jalen Richard and do it like we were doing it last year and the year before. We can work with the running backs that we have. Now, our wide receivers need to get open. Jordy Nelson was targeted 4 times last week and only caught 1 pass. Martavis Bryant was non-existent. We need our wide receivers to get open, because if we're going to work the middle of the field too much, it's going to bite us in the ass in the long run. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, if you keep your foot on the gas all the way up until the 4th quarter and then take your foot off the gas and start calling bullshit-ass plays, you lose. So we just have to keep on point, keep this quarterback on his heels, which means we're going to have to develop a pass rush. We could take this game 21-3. So anyway, this was your Week 9 pregame review of the Oakland Raiders at the San Francisco 49ers for the Battle of the Bay Shit Bowl on Thursday Night Football this week in I guess it would be November. But I want to thank all of you for tuning in, and I want to thank all of you for subscribing, and hey, Raider Nation for life, man. Let's get this win.